guys, it's your girl Angela, the Aspiring Boss. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today's video, we're gonna be talking all about different legal career paths that you can go down. So if you have been watching my channel for a while, you know I do a lot of content related to law school, lawyer life, and all things in between. However, admittedly, a lot of my content is geared towards people working into the traditional lawyer track, right? I work at a law firm, so a lot of my experience is based on working at a law firm when talking about lawyer life. But I have mentioned that a law degree can take you down many different paths and can be super valuable to just about anyone, even if you don't want to practice traditional law. So I thought it's time for me to back that up. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some different legal career paths that you can go down if you don't want to do your traditional lawyer jobs, such as work at a firm, work in-house counsel at a company, or anything like that. Many of them require critical thinking skills and great analytical skills. These are all things that you learn in law school, and that is why you find that many people with law degrees go into these fields. So let's jump right in. The first career is a legal recruiter, also known as a headhunter. Legal recruiters partner with law firms and companies to connect them with potential candidates for employment. You guys, the legal market can be extremely competitive, and there are some really good candidates out there, but sometimes it's hard to connect with people. So legal recruiters are that barrier between the two. I myself have worked with a legal recruiter before. If you've been around for a while, you know that I started my legal career in Texas. So about 2 years ago, I moved here to Missouri, and I knew nothing about the legal market in Missouri. I didn't know really what the top firms were. My then current firm did not have a law firm in Missouri, so I couldn't just transfer. After my initial conversation with the recruiter, a week later, I had interviews lined up. After that, I was flying out to Kansas City to interview. About 3 weeks to a month after that, I was living in Kansas City. That is how beneficial recruiters can be. They know the right people, they have relationships. They really do make it easier for firms and companies to get good employees and potential employees to get good jobs. Recruiters will do several things. On the end of the company or the firm, they're reaching out to potential candidates always searching, always looking, always trying to see if someone is looking to make a move, looking to see if someone needs a new position. And on the employee side, on the potential employee side, they help you tailor your resume, they help you draft a cover letter, they put you in connection with the companies and the firms. And what I have found is most legal recruiters do have a legal background. A lot of them are former lawyers. A lot of them went to law school. And I already know what you're thinking. Well, how much do these legal recruiters get paid? I will tell you, they make a good coin, okay? Because legal recruiters get paid a commission based off the people that they bring in. And a lot of times that commission is based on a percentage of the salary or the entire first year salary of that candidate. Don't take this to mean that they get a percentage of the employee's money. No, they don't get a percentage of the employee's money. That's just used as the base to how they get paid. So, not a bad gig. All right, so the next career is become a law school professor or admin. You enjoy teaching. If you enjoyed, legal writing, you were on law review, you just had a really good academic track record, teaching, academia might be for you. I think you'll find that, a lot of law school professors have a very fulfilling career, especially if you like to teach, especially if you like, research and writing. If you really enjoy law school or the core of law school, the activities that you do in law school, being a professor might not be a bad job. Now, I will say, I think that, your academics really matter a lot with professors, and to work at some of the big schools, a lot of these professors, did have this great legal career before they came into academia, but it is something to look at. And I will say, I had a professor, he was my con law professor, where he never even practiced law. He was so young, y'all. I think he was 30. He literally went from law school, maybe clerked a little bit, and became a professor. So he didn't even practice law. Again, he really did have a really impressive academic background, but yeah, something to look into. And I'm not sure how much professors make, but I'm sure they make about 6 figures. And then also you could, have a career in the non-teaching, you think of deans of law schools and, in the admin department and things like that. So yeah. All right, so if you guys have been here a while, you already know I'm gonna like this next one. So the next one is you can become a real estate agent or real estate broker. I lean more towards broker because broker is a little bit more elevated. So real estate broker is a person who works with buyers, you know, to help them find properties, and they work with sellers to help them sell properties. On the buyer side, they help buyers look for properties, help them make their offers, help them negotiate, and they just help with the overall buying process. On the seller side, they work with the sellers to, you know, determine their market, determine the price, respond to offers, coordinate showings, and just the overall selling process. And so you might wonder, like, well, what does this have to do with law school? Like, why is that connected to law school? But if you know anything about the real estate industry, in order to become a real estate broker or real estate agent, you have to take an exam to become licensed. And before you can take that exam, you have to take some sort of, you know, real estate course. Well, so this is where law school comes in. If you're an attorney, you don't have to take those education requirements. Those are all waived. You can just go in and take the test. Your girl, me, when I first got to Missouri, I actually took the real estate exam because I found out, oh, you don't have to take the classes, you don't have to pay for the classes, you just go in and take an exam. Why not? So I went in and took the exam, passed it on the first try, you guys, because you learn a lot of this stuff in law school. Like, you know, we take property in law school, you learn some of that stuff, or you just learn how to think and how to make educated guesses. So I went in, took that exam, didn't study. It was pretty basic because of my law school education. And so I guess the real estate, you know, commissions or whatever of the state knows that that education you get in law school is sufficient enough to where you don't need to take, you know, the real estate education. But yeah, that's a really cool thing. And I lean towards the side that in order to be like a really successful real estate broker, real estate agent, you probably really need to do it full time. But for some of you guys who are just kind of looking for side income and you're an attorney, if you have the time, that's something to think about. But yeah, a lot of people who went to law school do the real estate broker thing full time. Oh, and so real estate brokers get paid on commission as well. They get paid a percentage of the sale price or the purchase price of the property. All right, so this next one makes me excited because this used to be like my dream job. But the next one is a talent agent, you guys. Yes, a talent agent. So a talent agent is someone who represents the interests of an entertainer. So think athlete, actress, musician, author. They help their clients get opportunities by connecting them with different companies and brands and, you know, just opportunities within their entertainment space. They help them, you know, with promoting themselves, marketing themselves, and most importantly, they help with negotiating contracts. They help with those big deals. You know, when you hear about Patrick Mahomes and all these millions and stuff like that, and yes, I said Patrick because go Chiefs. But when you hear about that, he has an agent who helped him get that deal, who helped negotiate that deal, who said, hey, this is what my client is worth, and this is what you guys are gonna give him, or he's walking, okay? And you know the Chiefs aren't crazy, so they stayed. But anyways, I digress. You'll find that a lot of agents have law degrees, and it's because of the value of, again, those things that you learn in law school, those negotiation skills, those analytical skills, those, you know, persuasion skills. All those skills that you learn in law school can really help them have a successful career. Okay, so the next one is a politician. Woo, Chile. I don't know how widely known this is, but a lot of politicians went to law school. A lot of them have a legal background. Are you surprised? I mean, are ya? I mean, they're supposed to be, you know, problem solvers. They create policies. So it makes sense that a lot of them went to law school. So yeah, your legal background can really put you in a position to have a successful political career based on, you know, the skills that you learn, the people that you meet. Because in politics, you know, sometimes it's all about connections. And I think it's really good to have a good grasp of the law. Now, as far as pay, politicians work for the government. So, you know, I just don't think there's any politicians out there that got rich off of being politicians. But there's something else that they have: power and influence. And to some people, that is bigger than money. But yeah, you think about some of your most known elected officials, you know, they went to law school. So if you have a knack for politics, law school might be your thing. All right, so the next one is a broadcast journalist, you guys. I never really thought about this before until I was like thinking about this video, and I'm like, this would be a really cool career. As you guys probably already know, broadcast journalists, you know, they report the news and media, whether that be TV, radio, online. They basically research stories and report them. So it makes sense that law students become broadcast journalists, because they have to consume a lot of information, have to read a lot of information, then analyze it, and then be able to communicate it to the masses. And again, these are all skills you learn in law school. You really learn how to read, critically think about information, and synthesize it. And so it's very fitting that many TV personalities are law school grads. And then one thing you can do is you can kind of mix the broadcast journalism with the politics and become a political commentator. That's a really cool job if you're into politics. All right, so the next one is becoming an executive in a company, like a CEO or CFO if you have business background as well. I know I've talked about before being an in-house counsel where you are the company's lawyer, but I just mean being an executive, being a person who oversees the overall operations of the company. Having a legal background can be invaluable to an officer of a company. If you have skills with managing and leadership, and then coupling that with skills you learn in law school, like counseling, negotiating, strategizing, you could really be a really cool officer. I've thought about this before, wanting to be, an officer of the company and not necessarily, the general counsel. This could especially be cool for someone who works in transactional business law already. Like you worked at a firm, you've got all that knowledge on business law, and then you go work for a company, you help them run it, and then you also have your legal expertise. Honestly, I'm not gonna get any ideas, but this sounds great. All right, so the next one is an arbitrator or mediator. When you think about an arbitrator or mediator, think about somebody who plays a judge-like role. Arbitration is a form of dispute resolution. It's not necessarily litigation, like, actual court. It's like a modified, less intense version. Basically, an arbitrator who acts as like an individual go-between between two parties. There's two parties having a dispute, and the arbitrator, exercises his or her independent judgment to help them come to a resolution over that dispute. So similar to a judge, just not all of the bells and whistles of court and rules and things are modified. The thing about arbitration is a lot less expensive than litigation. You'll find that in most agreements that you sign, with any sort of company, when you sign up for something, you see automatic arbitration provisions rather than litigation, because companies don't want to risk going to court and losing a ton of money. So they like to go to arbitration. So overall, arbitration is similar to court, but it's cheaper, it's faster, and it just doesn't have as many, complex rules. The other thing I mentioned is mediator. Mediation is what you do before you actually go to arbitration or litigation. Mediation is where you try to come to a resolution before you draw out the big guns. It's really informal. You have just an impartial person who is called a mediator, who basically facilitates negotiations between two parties. They, offer resolutions and try to get people to see the other side. It's not rigid, it's not binding. It's really just a kind of last-ditch effort before you have to go to arbitration or litigation. So with that being said, again, you learn the skills that you need in law school: negotiation, critical thinking, thinking of alternatives. So if you like to be the peacemaker, if you're the peacemaker of your family or friends, mediation or arbitration might be for you. If you are looking for what's right, and try to be unbiased, look into it, y'all. Look into it. All right, so the next one is pretty cool. JAG. JAG stands for Judge Advocate General. So basically, JAG officers are legal advisors to the military, like the different branches in the military. I think this is so cool. I'm a military kid. I'm an Army brat. So I think this is so cool. They're lawyers, but for the military. And so, I just feel like it's an extra layer of importance to being a JAG officer. The cool thing about JAG is you get to practice so many different types of law based on where you are and what military branch you're in. If you're the type of person who kind of wants to be a generalist, like you want to have exposure to different type of practice areas, you want to do different types of things, and on top of that, you have an interest in serving in the military, you might want to look into JAG. And also JAG can have, some really cool benefits to it. I know they offer a student loan repayment assistance. Obviously, if you serve in the military, for a certain amount of time, you get benefits with that, lifelong benefits. So if any of that sounds cool to you, I would look into JAG. I know in law school, JAG came to my school and they kind of reached out to me about doing it, but I was like, I'd have to do a PT test. I'd have to do physical labor. I'm good, love. Enjoy. But like I said, JAG does sound really, really cool. All right, the next one is super cool too, okay? Did you know a lot of law grads go to the FBI? Like, I didn't know that. Criminal Minds is one of my favorite shows. I could totally see myself in the BAU. But yeah, a good amount of FBI agents have law degrees. And it makes sense. If you want to be in the FBI, you have to have a bachelor's degree and you have to have experience in law enforcement or the legal field. So that law graduate law experience probably does help, you know, propel their resumes. And again, you guys, think of Criminal Minds, think of law school, critical thinking, analytical skills, being able to synthesize information. All those things will come in handy as an FBI agent. All right, so that's all I have for y'all today. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I know some of these careers sound super, super cool to me. I wish you could have like more than one career because I'm interested in so many things. But it is nice to know that if you go to law school and you graduate from law school, you have options, okay? If you go somewhere and you find out you don't love it and it doesn't work out, you always have options. Or if you want to go to law school because you want the JD, it's good to know that there's more than one track. I feel like unless you have exposure to lawyers or law grads before you go to law school, a lot of people don't know that with a law degree you can go down different paths. So that was just the purpose of this video, to give you guys some insight on things you can do with the law degree. Let me know in the comments which career path you guys found the most exciting. There were a few that I mentioned. I'm like, maybe I should look into that. Just kidding. But I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.